Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Thai podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing how AI is going to affect various fields in the industries. Hello, my name is Brendan Nago.
I'm Arvind.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Aaron.
All right, so the three top majors that most kids want to go to these days is probably law, medicine, and CS. And so we're going to look at how AI will affect salaries in those fields. Will those salaries go up or down? And what will analytic teams do? Because that's a big factor in all three industries. So let's start off with Brendan. What do you think about CS?
Okay, I think in the fields of CS, AI can really help to it's more at this point in time, more of like a helper that can help programmers code, but it can't make bugless code and it's not completely perfect. And people such as Colin, who works with code a lot, could probably comment a little bit more about this topic. But truly, CS, it has a bright future with AI. AI could very easily program much more than that has been done by humans alone. And I would like to hear some more thoughts from you, Colin.
So AI right now can code pretty well, but without a human to put it all together, it's pretty much useless. A lot of what AI has to code is it's based off the prompt that you give it to it, right? If you give AI two different prompts, it could create two completely different things. Without a human to monitor that and put it all together, it's not going to really work. And also, AI right now, it's it can't problem solve. You know how bad AI is at math and those problem solving kinds of related problems. It can't tackle those at all. So a lot about programming in CS, what a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of it is not just about straight up coding. A lot of it is about problem solving and handling how user interface, user problems. And AI is just unable to handle those things. So the field right now is definitely a lot more competitive. There's a lot of people applying jobs, 100 open spots, 33,000 applications. That's kind of stuff going on. But if you're definitely good, you can definitely find a job.
I think I have to agree with Colin. I actually did try to put some of my my math homework, into AI, and it definitely doesn't work as well when it starts tackling concepts that are more difficult. But I do think you guys are all being a little too hopeful, and here's why. From an outsider perspective, I've done little to no CS. I am pretty good at Python, but I think Java is where most of it's at. And so I think if you're just looking at it at a really simple type of perspective, AI is what? It's just numbers, right? It's really good with numbers. I know it's bad with math, but what it's really bad at is kind of the humanities major. And I want to talk about maybe law a bit more, because I think law is really in the middle with this one. Medicine, you wouldn't want a robot to operate on you. CS, maybe a robot will be more efficient in maybe 2 to 3 years. But law is really stuck in the middle because it's a very nuanced field. There's parts of the job where you have to analyze documents and really find a loophole, and the AI can be tremendously successful in that. However, if you look at other parts, as in arguing, using tone, gesturing, setting kind of a perspective to the jury.
Hey everybody, Pride Club is
That's just
opening now in room 1129. We'll be there until...
Yeah, just setting a perspective. I think really convincing a jury. High-priced lawyers, those really big law firms, they're not gonna have AI do that for them. That's what I think. But I'd love to hear what Aaron thinks about that.
Yeah, I agree with Arvand. I think law is just super in the middle kind of. It can AI can help, but also you shouldn't rely on AI to I think it's a question of moral and a lot more than just if it's guilty or not. Because I think a judge behind
A computer screen.
yeah, a computer screen should not be the judge of a character or a character's morals or
Ethics.
Ethics.
Yeah, because law is a very it's a very complicated human endeavor. But I want to talk about medicine a little here because I'm pretty interested in that. I do have a few family relatives in like medicine and a few who are going in, and so I kind of wanted to ask, like, what do you guys think it's gonna happen? Like maybe in 5, 10 years, not even 20, maybe 5, 10.
Okay, I think that medicine within the next 5 to 10 years, it will be able to like help a lot with all the paperwork and all the filing and all the background stuff around medicine. But at this current point in time, it does not look like anytime soon that there's going to be like full out doctors getting replaced. People are willing to pay a premium for their health, right? Like it's all about supply and demand and all this stuff. And there's not many people out there that would be like, oh, I want a robot to perform surgery for me. Like if you have a robot perform surgery for you, who knows what's going to happen? And I think there's a lot of applications for how AI is going to help the field, and it's going to make the job way easier for doctors. I can believe there's going to be like mortality rates are going to fall because AI can be a okay problem solver at times, and it's really going to help the field, but it's not going to replace the humans for at least another like unpredictable amount of years.
I mean, theoretically, computers are a lot more accurate than humans at doing like certain computations, those kinds of activities. So if we were to be able to make like a robot that could perform surgeries like with precision, like they could just always perform surgeries well. They could like adapt to like the situation, what's going on, because they can think a lot more faster than a human, right? Like if you suddenly encounter like an unexpected situation as a human, you naturally just like get panicked. You like your brain would stop working.
I
But-
think we can settle that really easy, and here's why. Doctors that do the most complicated surgeries, there was actually a study of their brains a while back, 2015. Their ability to handle stress went beyond the average and was in the top percentile. And so, if everyone could just raise their hands, who would want their once in a lifetime surgery to be done by AI? I think that's a really important topic to think about. Maybe even like your pediatrician or your general doctor checkup. I wouldn't want AI to do that because there certain things that AI is not known to notice. When we're talking about these type of fields, not everything is numbers. Not everything is yes and no. It's not all black and white. And that might even be true with CS. Now I was wondering. Now that we're talking about the impact of the skill level, what about salaries? Are salaries going to go up? I think for law, medium priced lawyers or even like low priced lawyers, just for like the average person, I think an AI lawyer, which is significantly less costly, would basically make those medium priced lawyers inferior. And I think that can really make the job market competitive and increase the barriers to entry. But I was thinking, like, what do you guys think is going to happen to medicine? Because that's a pretty high salary job, and it has been high salary for a really long time.
I'd like to bring the topic a little bit back to law, like shifting towards what's going to happen to public defenders. I think that's like a big question that many people have because at this moment, like public defenders, they don't get paid a ton compared to other lawyers, and they're not like they're not having multi-billion-dollar or even million-dollar cases involved. They are at most risk of being replaced by AI. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts on that are.
I think actually another thing I want to talk about. So we're talking a lot about high-priced lawyers, and we're talking about certain jobs. But one job that doesn't come up a lot and is actually makes a lot of money is being a venture capitalist. And what does that job really entail? Should everyone become a venture capitalist? Because we're looking at jobs that are really high in salary, but if you want to see the impact of technological development, you really have to look at the middle. You have to look at the average jobs, like the jobs for middle to high income class. And so when we're talking about salaries, will the salary for the best problem solver at OpenAI go up? Of course, it's gonna go. It's gonna be a tremendous salary. It's gonna be difficult to maintain that position because of how many skilled people we have, especially in the United States. I like to point out. As a high schooler in the U.S., I noticed a lot of my friends are going to CS. I think a few of us actually at this table are going to CS. That maybe would like to talk about that.
Wait, what were we talking about again? Talk about what? Like what specifically?
I think like specifically, like, do you think that the people that are, do you think that it's not only about salary but also increasing the barriers to entry of a job?
Yeah, I did say earlier that it's gonna be harder to get a job. Like I talked about, how there's like 100 spots open, like 33,000 applications. It's like there's a lot of people to compete with, and then companies right now they're also using like automatic AI rejection. They like look for certain things in your application, and then just AI just automatically rejects you.
Is that actually true? You know, I've heard about the Coca-Cola Scholar program. Now that program is actually it's an interesting one because they rejected many people. However, that is probably because it's a very good program. And so I don't think the top college. Do you think the top colleges will use AI?
No, I'm not talking about like top college. I'm talking about like jobs. Like let's say you have like a small startup, right? And you're looking for like 2 people, and then you open an application with 2 people, and like 10,000 people apply. Like who are you gonna pay to look at those applications for you?
Yeah, I think AI can have great applications to the job recruiting field because, like, usually when you're looking for a job application, you're looking for very specific stuff on a CV, and it can help you narrow stuff down. Of course, you're not going to reject like everybody with it, but you can remove the people that you obviously don't want with AI. And then when you have the people that are fully qualified from your specifications, you could easily review that as a human, and instead of working with 10,000 people as a 2-man team for a startup, you can be looking at just a couple hundred, and that really cuts down and saves time. And I think AI can really help with these business management stuff in general, as like we've already seen how it's like replacing fields from like copywriting, like a lot of writing jobs are being replaced, and there's lots of writing in business and advertisements, and I think when we look at the applications of AI, it can really help us out with that.
I think that's actually a significant point to make. Ben just made, because copywriting is actually a really popular side hustle. It can make you up to 10K a month, but now it's been completely replaced by AI. And what does that mean? Well, that means that the small to medium sized companies that pay those people, or have them on a retainer, they can easily substitute, that person's job with AI, and I think it will do really well. I wanted to switch the topic and actually talk about maybe something more generic, but definitely interesting. So as I think our parents grew up in the internet startup age, where the internet was seen as the biggest thing. Some people just said it's going to be nothing. It's not going to impact anything. And then, well, now we're living in an age where we're posting this on the internet, and everything we do is online at school. And so I was thinking, what is the AI? Is the AI startups that are popping up now? Are they going to be the next big companies? Are they going to be the Forbes 500 list?
I think that there is too little barriers to entry into that field because there's so many people running AI businesses. So I think it's not necessarily going to be these small startups. Well, not all the small startups are going to make it. There's going to be tons of failures. I mean, everybody knows about this. That's the problem. So there's huge perfect competition when we talk in economics, right? Even though there is low barriers to entry, though, I do think that the people that can come up with the new innovative ideas and implement them with AI are going to be the businesses that succeed, right? It's not just going to be every business that succeeds. It's going to be the people that can be original innovators and you learn to use AI to help them and not just be a quote-unquote AI-only business or something like that.
I think the same way that the internet companies and kind of technology hardware companies are conglomerates, I think internet companies and AI startups will become conglomerates. And here's why. Y Combinator, which is a pretty big, they basically grant funds to startups. Most of their startups from 2023 to 2024, and I'm not sure, you guys can fact check me on this, but a lot of them have been AI startups, and they're all doing pretty well. One of them is actually a pretty interesting one. It is basically, you know how Shopify works? Is like you put your products on Shopify and you try to sell them, and it's like drop shipping. There's actually a new program where basically it's like a AI company, and basically you take your Shopify store and you put it into the company's website, and it completely just it automates everything, and that makes it so you can have multiple shops at the same time combined with other people. And I think it's really impacted the dropshipping business. I think that company now, I'm blanking at the name, but I think it's raised up to date about $2 million ever since it started, or even more, $2 million in funds, and then maybe more in like credit. I think it's gonna have a big impact.
Mm.
And I think maybe Aaron, do you think that like maybe all of us will even work at AI companies eventually?
Um, yeah, I think there is a possibility, but like, at the start of the internet age, there are tons of companies, just like the AI startups that were startups, but they didn't become bigger than that. They just ended. And the companies that are here right now are the ones that made it. So I think it's gonna kind of be like that with the AI. Like I don't think every startup we're seeing right now is gonna make it. But like I think there will definitely be some superpowers like Microsoft and like some, Instagram, Facebook, Google type AI companies in the future.
I think that's a good point. And I want to throw it back to Colin here, um, because I was wondering, like, do you guys think that analytic teams and like all these majors, like the people that have to like research diseases, people that have to research cases, people that have to problem solve, do you guys think that that's gonna go away soon?
I don't think that problem solving is gonna go away like probably ever actually, because AI right now it's so bad at problem solving. Like I'm not quite sure how they're gonna fix that, because right now like what AI basically is that they just take a bunch of matrices and like they map it to make output. Like I don't think I don't think the AI actually understands what it's like putting out. Like it's just using mathematical models to like just map it out.
That's a good point. That's
Okay.
really good for our viewers home who like I don't know what AI is, but we're actually at the
I would
1 minute
like to
mark.
bring.
Oh,
I would like to bring
yeah, go ahead.
one more point regarding this. I think that if you have like a team of like right now, if I've been like researching a little bit into like baseball and sports sabermetrics, for example, right now you have this massive team of people. Like I think, well, AI isn't going to completely replace that field. I feel like it can cut down on a lot of like just pure like labor force work, and instead of people doing like more rote level tasks, people are going to be focused more on the thinking aspects and problem solving aspects. So you're going to have, instead of a team of like 100 people doing some analytical thing, you might just have a team of like 5 or 10 people just working more towards the problem solving, and AI can really help automate like the processes. Like for example, I knew in like a sabermetrics field that for a simulator they would have to like transfer spreadsheets manually. The use of like AI and innovating technologies, you can easily just like program 1 or 2 lines, or not 1 or 2 lines, but like as AI gets better, it will be able to easily like just transfer spreadsheets for you. So it can really cut down on that labor force.
And I want to end on this. I think as the human civilization moves into maybe what will be called the AI revolution, I think we've moved from doing really laborious, really tedious work, as in farmers, going to factories, and now factories being replaced by problem solvers. I think human ingenuity is going to be the next big thing that humans are going to need to master if they want to do well in life. This has been the Thai Podcast, and thank you guys for watching, and we hope you guys have a curious day.